Murder, She Watched contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion is advised. Murder, She Watched is for entertainment purposes only. Hi, couch detectives. Welcome to Murder, She Watched, the podcast where we solve murders from our couch. My name is Amye Archer. I'm your host, and I am joined today by Brian Crooks, who's one half of MAFS Virgin, but also, I did not know this, former professional breakdancer.
Semi-pro. I say competitive breakdancer. Yeah,
if you were breakdancing, and one person looked at you and said you're doing a good job, to me that's pro.
I will say I taught little kids how to breakdance for years in college. That was fun. I've competed in like a bunch of different cities and traveled around, and that was very much my social life for high school and college, and like a little while after that. And then back problems were like it's time to stop, I think. But I still love the music. I still love the culture of it all, and so yeah, hip hop is central to most of what I do and care about.
Brian, thank you so much for joining me. You've been part of the Little Miss Recap world for a long time, and we always value your participation in our group, and you have a great podcast that you do, and I'm just so glad that you're here. So thank you.
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate that. I love being part of the community. I'm a Midwesterner and I talk too much, and so if I had no one to talk to, my wife doesn't watch all the same reality shows that I do, and so like I need to vent sometimes about these people.
Yeah. So I reached out to you because in all, I'm not blowing anyone's mind here. I am not well-versed in the hip hop culture. I am a very basic white woman who grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Not a ton of diversity here. Haven't, kind of cracked into that world. But in my defense, I'm not well-versed in any kind of music. I'm somebody who grew up just listening to John Lennon and the Beatles. So, my husband, he is a real music aficionado. He knew all of this and all of these people, and he's so much better versed than I am in this kind of stuff, but I didn't know anybody. I knew Tupac because of Poetic Justice. Poetic Justice. When I saw that movie, anything with poetry in it was,
I hear you entirely on that. I will say I'm 40. So when Diddy really kind of blew up was right at the right time for me to be listening to music and connecting for the first time. I would have been like late middle school when all that was going on.
Yeah.
I remember my first 6th grade dance was the day that Tupac died. And I had a real sort of a mental dilemma over like, should I go to this dance? Does that make me a bad person if I go and celebrate while Tupac is dead?
Yeah.
And I grew up in Naperville, Illinois. Anybody from Illinois understands what that means right away. It is a super white, hoity-toity suburb. And I couldn't even like talk to my friends and be like, hey man, are you okay now that Tupac died? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who cares about that? And so all of this stuff, the music of it all was right at kind of the right age for it to really connect with me. I grew up in a really musical household. My parents don't play music, but they used to have, whenever we cleaned the house, we'd put on Motown to clean the entire house.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of that music was constant. And so they hate Diddy because he basically just stole a lot of those songs and like changed the drums and made a new beat, and they hated that.
Yeah.
So I grew up kind of with an intrinsic distrust of this man, and my parents were right, it turns out.
I knew he was a bad guy, but he was kind of just in the zeitgeist. Do you know what I mean?
I thought he was regular bad.
I thought he was regular bad. Yes.
I didn't think he was like Armie Hammer bad. I thought like regular bad. And
I didn't think he was like Jeffrey Epstein bad, but here we are.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm covering those 2 docs this week, and let me tell you, I'm knee deep in sex traffickers this week.
You're going to want to wash your eyes by the end of that.
Yeah. So
company.
We're talking about Sean Combs' The Reckoning. If you guys haven't heard about it or watched it, it's on Netflix. It was produced by 50 Cent, right?
Yeah, the world's pettiest man. Yeah.
And do you know who the director is?
If you say the name, I might recognize it, but I don't know who the director is.
I don't have it, and I feel
if you want to Google on air, I'll talk about 50 Cent for a second.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So for those who don't understand, 50 Cent is petty as shit. Like this is his personality. He is just like a dick who's kind of a troll in music, and he's also like a bad person broadly. But he has beef with a lot of people. He kind of came into hip hop through beef. He had beef with Ja Rule that is still ongoing to this day, to the point that if you go to a Ja Rule concert, the whole front row is empty because 50 Cent buys all the tickets and then no one can sit in the front row. He still does it now.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I saw that he was doing a Diddy doc, I'm like, oh, this is going to be just like mean, and there's not going to be any balance, which I'm fine with that. But it's going to be a diss track for an entire miniseries.
Wow. That is, when I was, and we'll get into it, but I'm seeing like these songs that East Coast, West Coast are sending back and forth to each other. And I'm like, wow, they're just putting it out there. Like, I fucked your wife. I'm like,
that was on the radio. They played those on the radio. They played that on MTV. Like, those were, it's like when I listened to Closer by 9 Inch Nails. I'm like, how is this a radio song? They played this on the radio. Like, it's just crazy to me.
So her name is Alexandria Stapleton, and I want to give her props because she is a young woman, and I mean, everybody's young to me as an old lady, but she's probably like 45. But she did a good job, and
she did.
I heard an interview with 50 Cent and her, and he was really enamored with her. He's like, I wanted a woman to do this. Like, that was his thing. I wanted a woman to direct this. And he went out and he found her and recruited her to do it. And she's done a bunch of documentaries. Like, she's not some new kid he plucked.
Not a hayseed.
Right. But she did a great job, I think. The flow of it was nice. She had a lot of really good interviews, and she talked a lot about like Kirk Burroughs and getting him to feel comfortable and open up. And I told you last night, like, Kirk Burroughs can do no wrong in my eyes. I am real into that guy. Oh my God.
Like, this is a tragic figure. And I think I've seen a bunch of these. So I know I watched the Peacock one. I tried to rewatch the whole thing before we recorded. I couldn't get to the end of it in time. I think there was also one on Hulu that had theirs. I don't know. HBO, I think, might have also had one with like Investigation Discovery. I've watched all of them. This is the best one because it has all of that like somehow behind the scenes footage of him like while he was under investigation. And I don't know how they got it. I'm assuming 50 Cent just like backed up a Brinks truck and was like,
that's what he's suing about. Okay, so Sean Combs put out, I guess, a statement through his lawyers or whatever, that the footage we see that 50 Cent bought was handled by a third party who had like power of attorney for 3 or 4 days or something like that while he was being arrested. So like, he's disputing the sale of that footage, which I'm like, okay, the footage was good and it informed the film, but it was not the juiciest parts.
No,
at all.
No, it was neat. It was, as somebody who's watched every episode of Intervention, it's always interesting to watch someone like deep in the throes of addiction and drugs and just like, oh no, you're not here. And I forget the name of that producer who worked on the Love album with him, but there are so many moments.
It's not Shine, right? Did we talk about Shine?
No, I want to talk about, I could talk about Shine the rest of my life. Lil Rod. Yeah, he called him Little Leroy, which was disappointing. That's also my dad's name. Don't call somebody Little Leroy.
And don't call somebody a name that's not theirs.
No, don't give someone a nickname if they didn't ask for a nickname.
No.
But like, there's moments where you watch their interaction and you can tell this guy is like, I just need to fucking make it out of this. This guy is not here. He's rambling on. He's saying nothing. I'm going to just like wait till he stops and then just play the next track. So it is interesting to see him that way and understand he was fucked up all the time. He was never okay.
Okay. The most disturbing thing for me of that footage was, I'm assuming Justin is his kid, Justin.
That's his oldest son.
That is fucked up beyond anything to me.
And this is the
Sean has done a lot of things wrong, and I refuse to call him anything but Sean Combs. Sean has done a lot of things wrong. That is one of the top, in my opinion.
It's way up there, and I'm trying to remember. So he's got a bunch of kids. Justin's the oldest one. In my recollection, Justin played football at UCLA. And that's why Diddy moved to LA, because he wanted to like be closer to him while he was playing. I'm wondering now, like, how much that played into all of this, and was it you're recruiting on the college campus as well? This is the only documentary that ever mentions Justin being involved in any of this. So like, that was shocking to me that this was.
And maybe
again, 50 Cent's going to bring it up. So
maybe that's why that footage is so valuable. because we're seeing just what a trash parent he is. I mean,
Yeah.
we all knew, but to
we
see it.
we knew, but it's really awful. I will say the Peacock one most talks about crimes. It's mostly there's a lot of other assault and murder that gets really deeply covered there. There's a whole did he try to murder Albie Shore? Probably.
Wow.
That's a whole thing. The Kim Porter, did he murder Kim Porter? Probably is what the Peacock one says.
Was Kim Porter Biggie's girl at some point?
No. So Kim Porter, I want to say
she was Albie Shore's.
She was Albie Shore's girl, and she was like the receptionist.
Okay.
The only woman I've ever really known that's been attached to Biggie is Faith Evans, who was the one that Tupac also had sex with.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Disappointing.
So we'll get into this. I have 12 pages of notes, like I said, but I don't think we'll need to read everything that I wrote down.
Probably not.
So I think that the first 2 episodes are really important, especially episode 1, because it features Tim Dog Patterson, who I'm also into.
The purest man on the planet.
And Kirk Burroughs. I'm into those 2 men.
Yeah.
And they really paint a portrait of the change in Sean and what happened. Yeah. So we see that black screen of death in the beginning. In 2025, Sean Combs was tried in federal court on charges including RICO, which, if that sounds familiar, that's usually how they get the mob and bring the mob down.
Organized crime.
Yep. Sex trafficking and violations of the Mann Act. So the Mann Act is basically you can't transport people over state lines, I believe, for sexual purposes.
It was my recollection of this might not be correct, so fact check me if I'm wrong. I want to say the first time it was used was there was a boxer back in the 1920s named Jack Johnson. He was the first black heavyweight boxing champion. Yeah. And he had a white girlfriend, and they made the Mann Act to like prevent her from traveling with him while he boxed. I think is where that came from.
They say that it is to prevent white slavery.
There it is.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, in its modern usage, it's good. Like, you can't like bring somebody across state lines to have sex with them.
Yeah. So he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution under the Mann Act and acquitted of the remaining acts. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison with time served. I don't know what time he had served. Do you know like how much he has left?
He's got, so we just passed the 1-year mark of his arrest in September. Obviously I don't think he wasn't in prison right away, because there was a tape of him at the airport trying to like hop on a private jet and escape. And they like came and got him there. So there was some time that he was out. That same day he like abandoned Justin at the house with the cops there, and like there's footage of Justin like on the front lawn panicking while the cops are going through the house. So like,
oh my God,
there was a period in time where he was like on the lam. So he probably has, I would say, 3.5 years left, I'd guess.
Yeah, I'm shocked he's not getting a presidential pardon or B getting out for good behavior.
I mean, the pardon has been discussed. I think it's forthcoming. Yeah, I think that's forthcoming. I mean, frankly, it's a wonder he is still on the mortal plane at this point. I'm surprised he did not get Epstein or offed in general in prison already.
Yep. So in the late 80s, early 90s, Kirk Burroughs says Sean was very different then. Now, Kirk is the co-founder of Bad Boy Records. Yeah. And Alexandra talks about in this interview I listened to how this was one of the first times he's ever been interviewed.
I've never seen him before.
Really talked about this. Listen to me. He's never really spoken about this. We meet Andre Harrell. We don't meet him, but we hear about him.
Yeah.
He was the head of Uptown Records, and he gives Sean an internship that sort of starts all of this. Albie Shore, the big guy on Uptown Records at the time. He was a platinum artist. He was dating Kim Porter. Sean was always hanging around. Very Pam and Jim from The Office. Sean is always hanging around the reception desk trying to get Kim's attention.
Yeah, Albie Shore's Handsome Roy.
Albie Shore was in it, right? Yeah, current. Speaking. Yeah. So this was so great. We see an ad for a 1-900 number. It's Albie Shore's personal number. It's like $2.99 a minute.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Those were such a thing. Such a thing.
I still know the number for the He-Man hotline because I watched He-Man every episode when I was a little kid. I never got to call it, but it's 1-900-909-3500. You can call and talk to He-Man. I've never done it, but I've thought about it many a time. I'm like, I have real money. I can do that now. I'm not going to do that.
You know who I called? I called what's her name? The psychic, Miss Chloe. Is that Cleo?
Oh, Miss Cleo?
I called Miss Cleo.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
a bunch of times.
Call me now for your free reading. Okay.
So Sean starts coming up in the ranks and they're trying to make him cool because Kirk Burroughs says he was nerdy and looked like a scholastic dweeb. And I'm like, you just described my elementary school years.
I mean, he doesn't look cool. He doesn't look cool. His teeth are too big for his mouth.
He had the Gumby going for a little bit.
He's got a Gumby. And I used to have a Gumby as well. I am as bald as they come now. I've been shaving my head for more than half of my life, but I've had every black hairstyle there is. And I used to have a Gumby. And so, you don't look cool with it. You can't look cool with it.
So he really tries to ingratiate himself to Andre Harrell. Like he even lives with him at some point. And Andre's like, Andre's like, I bought this $1 million house, and Sean suddenly had a falling out with Janice, his mother, and like had to move in there. Okay.
Convenient.
So we meet Tim Dog Patterson. Oh God, I'm into this guy. What is his story? What is his story? Because I'm into him.
So Dog was like around this world all the time, right? So there's these figures who are just kind of present in hip hop. They were doing things. I want to say he worked at Bad Boy, but he has subsequently gone to live off the grid. The Peacock documentary, he's the star. He is the main character in the Peacock documentary. And it opens up with like the director just driving up through the woods and like there's nothing around. And he's like, I don't know, the trail gets kind of rough here, but I think this is still the right way. And then you pull up to a house and it's like a 2-room cabin.
Yeah.
It's got like a Black Liberation flag out front, and that's it. And then dude walks out. He walks out in like full on like mohair Navajo get up.
I'm into it.
He like makes a fire. And he's like, all right, let's talk about it. And the whole doc is like him by a bonfire, just like telling this story. He is a fascinating figure.
Could he be a cult leader, do you think?
Yes,
because he's given me that vibe.
I would join his cult. It would be a great cult.
He's given me that vibe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he grew up with Sean. And he rented the first floor of his home. So they literally, had all these shared experiences. And he says Sean's household was real dark. Yeah. And he's like, we all got our beatings, but Sean's beatings were different.
Yeah, his beatings scared me is a terrifying thing for any kid to say.
Yeah. Sean's father, Melvin Combs, was murdered on Central Park West when he was a baby. And the news described him as a wealthy dope peddler. But Sean kind of builds him up into this mythical character of this gangster.
It depends who you ask. Yeah. Obviously, the records are going to be scant with organized crime figures. Sure. It depends who you ask. Either he was kind of like a middleman who had a decent amount of money and clout, but wasn't in charge of anything, or he was kind of like on the way up to becoming that. So depending on which season of The Wire you watch, he's one of those guys.
Okay. I've never seen The Wire.
Don't watch it. Listen, hot take, it's not that great.
It probably didn't age well, right?
It didn't age great. It didn't age great. Yeah. And the writing is a little bit, it feels very much like a white man studied black people for a while and then tried to write dialogue. It's not great.
Okay.
I watch Big Love instead. I love Big Love.
I love Big Love.
Among my favorite shows. And one of the best finales of any series of all time.
Yeah, love it.
But yeah, no, they grew up together, and there are some staples of like 70s, 80s black household that are in his household that are weird. So like there's pictures of my brother and I dressed up a little bit fancy. We don't look like dandies though.
You don't look like a dandy. Yeah.
I had no jewelry. That's for certain. At 4 years old. Like, no. I've got a 6-year-old now. He'd be like, why is there a zipper on these pants?
Janice is making him a dandy.
Yes, very much so. There's a part where Dog talks about like, oh, they had like a stage in their family room. And when you are like the little kid and everyone's telling you to come and do that dance or whatever, that is a thing that just happens in like black cookouts. I don't know how many times 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock rolls around. There's a room with all the kids asleep. The parents come and wake us up and have us do a Soul Train line. It's like that was a thing that happened in every party I was at as a kid.
Okay.
This was different though, because this was like, oh no, this feels a little like exploitative.
Yeah.
It never felt like that for us. It felt like I'm tired as hell, like I'm 6.
Well,
I'll do my dance.
And Dog is interesting because he kind of says things without saying them. Like he says, we would hop in the car and we would go with Janice, and it was always a new car. And we would go to Harlem, and she would leave the car running and be back in a minute, and nobody touched the car. So what I'm inferring from that is she's up to no good. How is she making her money, right? How is she keeping them in this lifestyle? So like Dog's
there's money changing hands.
Yep, Dog's pretty good at kind of painting that picture without kind of telling us what's going on. But he says he also talks a lot about the media that Sean was consuming as a kid. A lot of films about gangsters and stuff, and he kind of grew up. Yeah, he kind of grew up to really want. And Dog says this is what hardened Sean. Like this is what he fights back now, but he fights dirty. He's not losing.
Yeah. I'm like, no, and I grew up loving blaxploitation. I also, again, grew up in Naperville. It was not a real thing for me. I might as well watch a cartoon, right? But like Superfly and like Dolomite and the Mac, I watched all those growing up. They're great movies to watch. They're funny. They're funny as hell. I did not idolize any of those characters, though. And for him to internalize that, and I have to wonder how much of that is also, I picture my dad was one of these guys too.
Exactly.
That's that's dark. Yeah. Don't give that guy money.
Yeah, I think Dog says that. He said the difference is I had my dad at home to kind of temper, you know, my feelings about these things. And there was a vacuum in Sean's home where that existed. So Kirk says, and oh God, I'm telling you, I could just listen to this man speak. He's just so beautifully eloquent.
He's so sweet.
He says, I know people who've been shaped by pain, and I know people who've been shaped by love. And if there's more pain, look out, because you're going to give others pain because you can't seem to cut that pain out of you. And I'm like, just keep talking to me, Kirk. Just keep talking to me. Wow.
Off the dome.
Yes.
Just extemporaneously. Fantastic.
Oh, man. So the doc is careful to put up disclaimers all over the place. You know, we reached out for Janice to comment. She refused, whatever. In episode 1, we also meet, there's two main things. The first is we meet Joy Dickerson Neal. And now I had known about this, and I had known her story. She was one of the first people who kind of came out against him. She met Sean at a party in 89, 90. She was doing some promoting of music videos. He, at this time, started throwing parties. He was throwing parties at the rooftop. He throws a party at Andre Harrell's house. Andre Harrell's out of town, has nothing to do with this. And apparently allegedly at this party, he sexually assaults her after this party. And the producer says, did he sexually assault you? And she said, yes. And he has it on video.
Has it on video that he shows other people. He plays at parties and shit. Jesus.
So in November 2023, Joy Dickerson Neal sues him under the New York State Adult Survivors Act. And her civil case alleges she was drugged and assaulted by Combs in 1991. It was one of the first of 100 civil cases.
Yeah. There was a while where it was like, and I watch CNN or MSNBC kind of all day while I work. There was a period in time where it's like every 20 or 30 minutes, there'd be like another breaking story, another lawsuit against Diddy. And it's just like, no, you can't just do this to people forever and
get away with
it.
Out.
And I will say on a side note, why do we even have a statute of limitations? I don't understand it. I've never heard it explained. Even if you rob somebody, like if that's my stuff and I find it 20 years later, give my stuff back.
Yes,
like, I don't know.
I agree.
I don't understand it in general.
It's a problem. It's a problem. This poor woman, I mean, she just cries, and she reads this letter that her mother wrote to Janice Combs. And talks about how, you know, your son did this to my daughter. And I listened to the director, Alexandra, and she said Joy had lost her mother, and she was really feeling her presence in that moment. And that letter just meant something deeper to her now, because she looks back on it and her mother was trying to protect her. Like it's a really devastating moment. Then we have the City College game. Okay. Woo. I did not know about this. I had
this
no
is the
idea.
Origin of Diddy. There are stories in music that just kind of set the stage for what's going to come later. The rock comparison to this is like Altamont, where it's like this big concert, people died. This is one of the most like out there stories in hip hop history is what happened at City College.
Yeah. So he throws this celebrity basketball game, and Yo MTV Raps comes, and every rapper in New York was there. And it grew into something. It was December 1991. It was a basketball game in Harlem. It kind of grew into something that I don't think he expected or knew how to handle.
Oh, no. They did not talk about the promotion of the game on the Netflix doc.
Okay.
They essentially promoted it as though City College could hold about 10 or 12,000 people. That arena holds about 2,000.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even looking at that arena, I could tell that is not true.
It is tiny. And so the radio stations before the concert, he was always on the radio. I think Hot 97 was the thing at the time, but that's like the number one hip hop, station in the country. He was always on there. There were Heavy D was also heavy into the promotion. I miss Heavy D. I love Heavy D's music. He died way too young.
Yeah.
But like the promotion of this thing was essentially like, if you're not at this event, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Like this is a once in a lifetime event. And so they had people, they talk about it on the document. He's like, oh, people bum rush the stage. No, you sold 5 times more tickets than you should have sold.
Yeah, and the doors were the problem.
How do you have a bottom of the stairs, the doors open inward? I've never seen that in my life.
I can tell you, my husband is a commercial carpenter.
Right. And what does Timmy say about this?
It is code that they have to push out from the inside. Yeah. So that was actually right. Because if you're inside a building, you have to be able to push out.
Well, I get that, but like the bottom of the stairway,
correct, but it was poor design.
To the bottom, it's a pull door at the bottom of the stairway. Just seems insane to me.
Yeah, that's actually code though.
God,
it has to have it has to have a push bar inside, and they have to open out from the inside. It's wild. It's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't believe
what they should have done. And again, I'm not a carpenter and I should not be in charge of anything, is have one set that opens out and one set that opens.
Yeah. Just an open hole is also fine. Like,
yes. Just doors. A doorway. Yes.
Sure.
So a stampede happens, like we said, and 9 people died. And Sean does take responsibility. Like he is up at the podium saying, like,
he takes responsibility.
Let me rephrase that. He doesn't take accountability, but he takes responsibility. He's like, okay, this was my thing that I did. But he doesn't say, I oversold it. I overpromoted it. It's my fault. He doesn't say that.
There's also an apocryphal part of his story where for years, maybe decades after this, his official story was that he was trying to save people's lives by personally giving CPR to people that were like on the floor. And there's people like the survivors of like the families of the people that died are like, no one ever saw him give CPR. No. I was there while my brother died, begging someone to help. He didn't come over. I saw him run away with money. Yeah. Like, no, this is a whole part of his origin story.
So it's real poetic justice, and I forget who says it, either Dog or Kirk, that this is the beginning of Puff Daddy, that he was born in tragedy, right? Like the image of him came about in tragedy. That's how he got famous.
Yeah, exactly. This is it.
Okay.
This is so part 0 for him.
Andre Harrell, despite this, keeps giving him more and more and more responsibility. He gives him a spot in A&R. And this is how he gets involved with Jodeci. Now I do remember Jodeci.
Yeah. Jodeci and then Casey and JoJo, because they just got rid of Devontae.
Yep.
So it's the same group minus Devontae.
So he does everything, like everything we know about Jodeci, Sean Combs was responsible for. The pants down, the unlaced boots, like all of it was everything. It was him.
He's really good at his job, and that's the frustrating part.
He really was.
He has no musical talent. He doesn't produce anything.
No.
He's an executive producer, so he like gives direction, but he can't work like a board. He doesn't know how to DJ.
Yeah.
But damn if that man doesn't understand how to produce like an artist and make them successful.
And I think what he does, and we see this later with the sampling, is he knows the culture.
Yeah.
And knows what will play well. And that there is something valuable in that. That is a valuable skill to be able to kind of pick things out of culture that will work. Yeah. So he also gives us Mary J. Blige, who I love. And she revolutionized what they call hip hop soul. Yeah. And this is all Sean. Sean did this. And there's 100%. This interesting quote from, is it Kalena Harper? Is that how you say her name? Kalena?
Kalena.
She says, Diddy was my hero because it wasn't often when you saw a black man be able to say, no, I don't want to do that. We're not doing that. And I thought
No,
that was interesting. That was a good quote.
it wasn't a thing. It wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
there were black aspirational figures before this. You know, I
Right.
grew up in a household full of those, you know, Thurgood Marshall, all of that.
Mhm.
We didn't have audacious black success at the time. There
Yeah.
wasn't somebody really putting it in your face. There was that in the 70s all over the place. Look at old pictures of like Walt Clyde Frazier or whatever, and like
Yeah.
a fur coat going to play for the Knicks. Like
Right.
that was a thing we used to have. We didn't really
Mhm.
have it in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we can talk about Bill Cosby and the effect that he had.
Do we have to, Brian?
I don't wanna.
No,
We can
let's
do a
not.
different
Let's
pod
not.
about it. But like this was a different model that we didn't really have at the time.
Yeah.
And he did it in a specific way that was so unapologetic that
Yeah.
did make it aspirational for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. So in 1992, he's promoted to VP of A&R for Uptown
Mhm.
Records. He meets Misa. Is that how you say her name? Misa?
Yeah, Misa.
And even though she's dating Eric from EPMD, the minute they broke up, he swoops in. And this is a
Yeah.
pattern of his. He swoops in.
It's what he does. It's what he does.
And
I
Kirk,
want to say
Go ahead.
for listeners who don't understand, EPMD is amazing. EPMD
Yeah.
is such a big deal.
I don't know
They
them.
should be as famous. They were a two-man group right after Run DMC. They are
Okay.
so much better than Run DMC and
Loved
should be so
Run
much
DMC.
more famous.
Okay.
Run DMC is fine.
Okay.
EPMD is like for people in the know of hip hop, that's
Yeah.
the group that you point out. It's EPMD or like De La Soul, are the two that
Okay.
you're gonna say those are my favorite groups.
Okay. So they have their son, Justin, and Kirk tells us the relationship was volatile. There was an instance where he was beating her on the street.
In the gutter, like stomping on
Yeah.
her in the street. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Ugh.
Very much like Jeffrey Epstein, as we go through this documentary, you will see a million places where intervention was needed and could have stopped this.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. It just do anything. Anybody do
Yeah.
anything.
So eventually Sean gets a little too big for his britches and Andre Harrell fires him. And
Yep.
so Notorious B.I.G. enters the chat at this time. And
Mhm.
Biggie was Sean's answer to the harder stuff that was coming out of Death Row Records. If I
Yeah.
get any of this
Well,
wrong, please tell me.
no, this is 100% correct. Real quick primer. NWA was like 88, 89. That was the
Yes.
first time hip hop came out of California for real. Like
Yes.
Ice-T was before that. No one cared about Ice-T for real.
Mhm.
So the shift to the West came in the late 80s, early 90s. New York at the 90s was doing a lot of the native tongues movement. So if you're familiar at all with like Arrested Development, there was a lot of like
Yep.
Afrocentrism in New
Yeah.
York. And then LA was like, no, we're doing street stuff. It took New York a while to catch up. And Biggie was like the first real street New York artist of that era.
Mhm.
The lore had always been that like he and Diddy were like best friends forever. That was what everyone thought growing up. Turns out no. Like
No.
there's so much before Diddy meets him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and he was very much doing his own thing and like building his
Okay.
own sort of notoriety and fame before he knew Diddy. So
Okay, so the
kind of
narrative of Diddy sort of discovering him is
Yeah.
false. Okay.
It's
All right.
false. Yeah,
Okay.
he was a known figure who just
But
didn't
he
have like
does
a major
sign
label
him.
deal.
He does
does
sign
sign
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to go to Clive Davis for money to start Bad Boy Records, and this is where they start Bad Boy Records. And so Dr. Dre, was he the founder of Death Row Records?
Dr. Dre,
left
Suge
NWA
Knight,
and did it?
yeah,
Okay.
it was like Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, and Snoop.
Okay.
Like together started Death Row. Yeah.
Okay. So Kirk and Janice are the sole stockholders. Now, this is where I was like, this guy's a scumbag.
Diabolical.
Because Sean did not put anything in his name because he didn't want any of the families of the college stampede to be able
Yep.
to sue him and get any
Yep.
money.
Crazy. Before he even had anything. Like as you're setting the company up,
Yeah.
I have an LLC. We don't make
Yeah.
any real money. Like I don't.
No,
If somebody sues me, they can
I
take
have
it,
an
I guess.
LLC. Come get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. You're enjoy your monthly subscriptions to like
Yes.
Adobe Creative Cloud.
Yes, exactly.
But like I would never have had the forethought to think, well, I have this kind of thing looming over me. Maybe one day I'll be rich and they can come and get. I would never would
Who
have thought
thinks like that?
about it. The devil.
Yeah.
Like no one thinks like this.
So what's interesting is Kirk ran everything. He
Everything.
was kind of the numbers guy, the logistics guy. He did everything, and he kept copious notes, as James Comey would say.
Beautiful
Copious
handwriting.
Notes. Yep.
The penmanship on
Everything
this man.
about Kirk is beautiful.
The
He's a
pictures
beautiful
of him,
man.
The pictures of him at the time behind the desk with like the $1 million smile.
Yes.
Like that guy should have gotten the company.
Yes.
Not Diddy.
So Tupac enters the chat now, and he becomes friends with Biggie, and he's really enamored with Biggie.
Yeah.
Like, and they get quite close, and Sean is pretty
close.
jealous of this.
Incredibly. Yeah,
because he wants to be Biggie's best friend, and Tupac is his best friend.
It's such a sliding doors moment in hip hop. The Tupac and Biggie thing. I have gotten in many arguments. They're not on my Mount Rushmore. I don't think either of them is the best rapper of all time.
Okay.
People get mad at me when I say that, but there was this moment where that could have become a whole thing. And then East Coast, West Coast never would have been a problem.
Okay.
Frankly, I am not a gangster rap fan. It's not what I like. I always say the pinnacle to me is just rap about what a good rapper you are. That's all I want to hear you do is like rhyme about how good you are at rhyming.
Where were you on the Eminem of it all?
He is on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay, because he was trying to warn us about.
Yeah. In no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
Wordplay is phenomenal. For me, he's the best lyricist that ever lived.
I love him.
He's amazing. I think to get to where he's gotten, looking the way that he looks and like talking about what he talks about, you have to be really exceptional at it.
Yeah.
To get to where he's gotten.
Yeah.
But I think that gangster rap in general was kind of a destructive thing for a while, and it just didn't. The music doesn't hold up that great. It sort of derailed things. And were it not for Diddy sparking all of this, we might have shortened that time span by 4 or 5 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of tension between Tupac and Sean, especially since Tupac's star is really rising. He I feel like is able to cross over into more of a mainstream audience. Like if little Lily White Amy Archer in Scranton, Pennsylvania knew about Tupac and liked him, then he definitely had that crossover power. And like I said, that movie Poetic Justice, guys, you need to watch it.
Well,
now
and the charisma on that guy too. Like we don't make him like that often.
So hot. I mean,
he was a super good looking guy. Yes, he was too skinny for my taste, but like he was a very good looking guy.
He was very hot, but problematic and thrown in jail for sexual assault.
Yeah, he did it.
So November 30th, 1994. At one point, Biggie, Lil Caesar are recording something with Tupac, and Tupac ends up getting shot 5 times.
Yeah.
A lot of shooting in this documentary. A lot of random
of shooting around Diddy.
A lot of gun violence.
Yeah.
And they say it was a robbery, but he had a Rolex on that nobody touched.
They didn't take anything.
Yeah.
They didn't rob him. He got ambushed. Little Caesar was kind of going to interdict. He was coming down to bring him upstairs to record. The guys told him to get back into the elevator. Those guys shot Tupac 5 times and ran off.
Tupac in interviews says, I believe Sean had something to do with this. Yeah.
No one else knew he was there.
I forget who says it. It's either Dog or Kirk, but one of them says, Sean may not be violent, but violence happens around him.
Oh, that was it was Tupac's cousin. It was that guy Tupac's cousin.
You're right. Yeah.
He's like, he says he's not violent, but every time I look around,
there's a lot of violence around him. Yep.
Yeah.
So, shocker, Sean is ripping off his artists. I know we're all stunned by this.
Till as old as time.
He essentially ran a shell game. He charged them to record. He paid himself if he was in your video, and he always wanted to be in your video.
Always. He wanted to do a little spoken word at the top of your track and he paid himself for that.
Yes. Yeah. So everyone agrees he's a terrible rapper, but still he's putting albums out, which you can do when you own the label. And this is very similar to, I know a lot of small publishing houses who started to put out their own books. So, and that was before you could really self-publish with, like now you could do it on Amazon and it's, the taboo is broken, but okay. So contrast this with Suge Knight, who's now the CEO of Death Row, and he doesn't insert himself in any of the videos or songs. He's this is about the music.
A giant man who you never saw or heard of. Like he was just, you knew who he was and I didn't know what his voice sounded like. Like he was never around.
Yes. So now the beef begins.
Yeah.
And the Source Awards happens in New York City. And this is where it really starts because rumors start that Suge is trying to open Death Row East.
Yeah, with Craig Mack.
And he's trying to recruit Craig Mack, who is on Bad Boy at this time. And Craig Mack's wife is like, we were not happy. He wasn't making any money.
He was so good. And like that song that he got the Grammy for, Flavor in Your Ear, was like one of those legendary tracks. He had so much talent. And just, you know, there's a lot of talented artists that Diddy could not work with. You know, the Lox is another one. They were a phenomenal rap duo that he just fumbled and they left and blew up. And so Craig Mack he deserved better than he got.
Yeah. So Suge gets up there for the award that he's either presenting or accepting. I'm not sure. And he's like, if any of you artists out there want to be a star without your producer trying to be in all your videos and shit, come to Death Row.
Like I can do a dramatic reading if you need.
Yes. Let's do it.
So it's anybody out there who wants to be a star without executive producer needing to be all in the songs, all in your video, all over the place, come to Death Row.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I've seen that clip 40,000 times in my life, and he's enormous. So like watching him lean down into the mic is just a whole thing. And this is in New York, like in his face. And everyone knows who he's talking about.
Well, Sean gets up there, and to his credit, he does kind of lean into it. I would be like,
play peacemaker.
I would be like not saying anything, but he gets up there and he's like, okay, yeah, that guy was talking about me. And, you know, I'm just a positive black man. And I just want to, and he just takes the high road. And I'm like,
the opposite of what I would have done. I would have been Petty Roosevelt. I would have been Petty Mayonnaise. I would have gotten up there and just been like, you know, fuck Suge Knight, red is a dumb color. Like I would have had a whole thing. But like to get up there and play Peacemaker is like the least hip hop thing you could do. I was shocked. I've never seen the rebuttal. I've seen the Suge Knight part a billion times.
Do you think he was just terrified of Suge Knight?
Probably.
I mean, he's a big guy.
He played football at UNLV. Like he's a giant, athletic man. Like I'm afraid of him now.
So 7 weeks later, Mark Curie is working the door at the club where they're having this party, and Suge comes to the door looking for Sean. Sean there's this whole thing about Suge having an Atlanta side piece. And Sean wanting to get involved with this person. And it leads to
because it was Suge's girlfriend.
It leads to something. And basically what you need to know is Suge and his friend Jake are out on the sidewalk at this point, and Sean is with them. And a man comes out and looks at Suge and shoots Jake. And does he die? He dies, right?
Yeah, he shot him 5 times while looking at Suge Knight. And
close range, point blank,
like next to him. He said he tapped him with the gun first. He's right next to him. And then he died like 2 days later in the hospital.
Okay, so kind of the best part of that, there's no good part about it. A man died. But the best part of it is that Suge grabbed Sean and was using him as a living shield. Yeah.
Probably with like no effort at all.
No. So this started the war.
Yeah.
And Tupac at this time also goes to jail for sexual assaults. Sorry, Tupac.
He did it.
I mean,
he did it.
And
it was rape.
Yeah. Biggie and Bad Boy kind of back away from Tupac at this point. And Tupac starts telling anyone who will listen that Biggie and Sean shot him. He's putting it in songs. He's telling everyone.
Telling everybody.
Yeah. So Suge and Tupac become friends now because, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever. And Suge signs him. And they put out an album.
Jail.
Yeah, in jail. They put out an album which debuts at #1 while Tupac is on bail.
A double album. Wow. Insane. Double album debuting at #1.
Wow. So behind the scenes, Sean is trying to like rile Biggie up and be like, we need to like fire back here. What are you doing? Why aren't you more like Suge? Like he's trying to rouse
him. Because Tupac put out Hit 'Em Up, which there's a line. I mean, there's the line on it that says, you claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. And then there's a Biggie impersonator and a Faith Evans impersonator in the video.
I wrote Tupac literally puts out a song, I fucked your wife, singing it to a Biggie lookalike.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like, you have to say something, Biggie, like do something.
Yeah. So Biggie, to his credit, like didn't want to get involved. And he doesn't want beef. Yeah, he's kind of like, I'm not getting involved in this. This is whatever. Yeah. So then, I don't know, Biggie puts out songs like Who Shot You? Who Shot You? It's wild. It's wild.
Who Shot Ya is a brutal diss track where he's basically like, yes, you're right. You know, Diddy and I did pay to have you assassinated. They just didn't kill you.
God.
Yeah.
So around this time, Sean starts hiring members of the Crips for protection when they're on the West Coast. And he, of course, denies this in an interview. There's a gentleman named Zip who's involved in all of this.
Zip.
He was a drug dealer from New York, had a relationship with the Crips. He's the one who set this all up. So Bad Boy and Death Row are literally using the Crips and the Bloods to terrorize one another. They're just like weaponized. Not that you have to weaponize a gang, but they're weaponizing these gangs against one another.
Yes, it's proxy war, and it's Suge Knight is affiliated with the Bloods. He always wears red, which is always weird to me because Snoop Dogg is affiliated with the Crips. He's always in blue. So I'm just like, how'd you guys bridge that gap?
Yeah. So basically, there's this incident where one of Death Row Records people, they get jumped and somebody steals their chain.
Yeah. Chain snatching is a big deal in hip hop.
This feels very middle school.
Well, there was another Source Awards where somebody snatched Busta Rhymes' chain, and there was like a shooting after that. So yeah, chain snatching is a big deal in hip hop. You don't take somebody's chain.
Okay. So September 7th, 1996, at the Mike Tyson fight in Vegas, the victim of the chain snatching is there.
Yeah.
And he's with Suge and Tupac, and he sees the guy who he believes stole the chain, and it was Orlando Anderson from Southside Crips, friend of Sean. Tupac goes after him.
Nephew or whatever, right?
Yeah. Tupac goes after him. We see the footage, and it's wild.
Yeah. I've seen that footage a ton of times. I had no idea what that guy's name was. I didn't know who he was affiliated with. I know that footage really well.
So then suddenly Tupac and Suge are in their car, and Tupac is shot. And Suge is mildly injured.
Yeah, well, Suge is also shot, and it's confusing because it sounds like the guy thought he shot him in the head, but like he really didn't. Because I didn't even remember Suge got shot in that shooting. I just know it as like the Tupac shooting.
I didn't know Suge got shot either.
I mean, he's huge, so like, I mean, it's a big target, but
so they have no suspects, and Kirk believes Sean did it. I mean, he's just like, Sean had something to do with this. So one of the things that we get in this documentary that I don't think has ever been heard is this cold case task force interview from the LAPD.
I don't think so. There was a documentary years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that was on A&E. That was like Tupac and Biggie, like trying to get to the bottom of it or whatever. I didn't watch it, but they might have had it in that, but that would have been the only other place I could think of that would have seen this.
So basically what you need to know, I'm not going to get into all of it, but Keefe D is the shot caller for the, I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. I've never felt more white in my life. He is the shot caller for the Southside Crips. And basically what he tells this detective, Greg Kading, is that they had conversations with Sean, and Sean basically said, I need these guys to disappear.
Yeah, like, I want you to kill these guys for me.
Yeah, he talks about it was $1 million. That was the price on his head, and they ended up only accepting or being able to get 500,000, which they didn't even get. But they cut
it was
it in
supposed
half
to go through Zip, and then it never got delivered or something. There's a lot of detail for for this to be a hoax.
There's a lot of detail, and it's a proffer session, which legally means he can talk about this kind of with immunity.
Yeah, you can in a proffer, you can tell them what you know, and they can't prosecute you for anything that you reveal in the proffer. Yeah. But if they turn up other stuff, other crimes you've done, you don't have immunity for those things.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically he's saying Sean hired us to do this.
Yeah.
And Sean paid us to do this. Yeah.
Right.
With a secret gun that that Zip had in his car.
Yep.
So let's get into nothing really happens. Zip dies from cancer. Orlando Anderson is shot and killed in 1998. Everybody dies.
Yeah. So the only ones that are left are like Diddy and
Keefe D.
Keefe
D is standing. So Mark Curry puts out a song in like the 2000s, I think. And Sean is talking in the beginning, and the lyrics are like, fuck with me, I'm going to drop $1 million on your head. Basically like, I did it. Right. I did it. I did it.
It's the OJ book. If I did it.
And Mark is like, what? What is that part? What?
Yeah,
I don't
that's not even part of the
understand.
song.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
understand
love
what that
song.
has to do with my love song.
It's so weird.
So now let's get to Biggie's death, because this was I mean, even I had heard rumors that Sean was involved in Tupac's death, but I never heard this kind of stuff about Biggie's death.
Up until a year ago, this was very much like tinfoil hat conspiracy. We never went to the moon type shit in hip hop. It was like, no, it was retribution for Tupac. That was it. Thinking it was an inside job is insane until like a year ago.
Okay. So March 1997, 6 months after Tupac's death, Sean takes Biggie to LA to put finishing touches on his album Life After Death. Wasn't titled that yet, ironically. Right. Kirk says, we had been warned. He just speaks so warmly.
He's been through things.
He's lit warmly, like he's just a beautiful man. He's
like a bar or something.
Yes, he's like, we've been warned not to step foot on the West Coast, and Biggie did not want to go, but Sean wanted him to promote the album because it was award show season. So we see the Soul Train Music Awards, and Biggie is jeered and booed because they're on the West Coast.
Yep.
So after the show, Saturday morning, Kirk and Biggie were scheduled to go to London. They were going to have a press junket, and Biggie would be the first person from Bad Boy Records to meet the international press. It was a big thing that had been in the works for a long time. Kirk had worked on it for weeks, and Kirk calls Biggie, and he's like, you need to get to the airport. We're doing this.
Let's go.
And he's like, dude, I can't. Like, Sean is freaking out. He wants me here.
Yep.
And
he canceled my flight.
He canceled the flight, and he said, he wants to do a party on enemy turf. That's what Kirk said. So March 9th, 1997, the Peterson Automotive Museum, Biggie and Sean were there with the Crips at this party. We see footage. It's 1:30 a.m., 2:30. Like, you see the night, going by. D1, a former Crips member who is interviewed for this documentary, says, I spoke to Biggie and I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. By the way, that former seems to be doing a lot of work with him. I think he's still very much actively.
I think so too. He's like, you just can't be strolling the streets of LA. Like, what? This is dangerous. So then at like 2:30, they noticed that Biggie was nowhere to be found. And then we have I was very confused as to what this footage was, but it was like from another car.
Yeah, it was like, it can't be cell phone footage. So I guess they had like a camcorder and they were just like recording their vacation or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were taping just like cars and people, basically.
Yeah. So we hear gunshots and everybody screaming. And basically he's murdered right there. Like, that's it. Yep. And so it's interesting because in the 2017 doc footage from Can't Stop, Won't Stop, which I'm assuming you watched.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean says, I was following Big's lead on doing this peace tour. No, you're lying. That's not what happened. I trust Kirk over him any day of the week.
Well, 100%. I mean, why would Biggie want to do that? Biggie loved hip hop and he loved to rhyme. He didn't want to do all the promotion and all that. That was never his thing. He was just like, I'm really good at rapping. Let me just rap.
Right. So Kirk says Sean is lying. He's the one that wanted that trip for weeks and weeks, and he was pushing it. And he even like talks about, I forget where I didn't write it down, but he has where he had to rent the cars with different drivers.
He's saying that they had to, like, instead of flying some people out from Bad Boy, they rented cars and they hired drivers to drive them from New York to LA, which, like, if you're bringing guns, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to fly with guns.
So basically the police say Sean didn't just not cooperate. He impeded the investigation. Like, he hindered the investigation. Yeah.
Yep.
Because he didn't want people to talk. And Greg, the cop, believes it's because he knows these two things are connected. You dig into Tupac's murder, you're going to dig into Biggie's murder. Sean is out there doing press saying, oh, Biggie's family's holding me up. They're holding me up. They're such good
his mom
friends.
is such a lovely woman too, and like to know what a sweet lady she is, and this is like the rat you have to deal with in the wake of your son's death is devastating.
And to no one's surprise, Sean goes all out, throwing the biggest funeral New York has ever seen, and guess who pays for it?
the
Biggie's
estate of Biggie. And it's wild. And again, this is another one where I know that footage super well, and I know that event super well. And it's always been portrayed as like this was Diddy's farewell to like his best friend. I'm like, no, he made him pay for it and made himself the star of it. Like, that's insane.
Here's my question to you, and this is kind of a naive question, but like you see this over and over and over again. It's like Sean Combs is pretty rich by this point. How much money is enough? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like this guy doesn't have the money. He has the money. It's all about control. That's what it's about.
Well, it's control. And there's also a thing, and I forget what psychological study I read this in a couple years ago, where like you want to make more money up to a certain point to like increase your lifestyle. Once you get to that point, you're just trying to go for the high score. And like, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything with the money you have. You just want more of it. And the need to have more of it leads you to do like increasingly depraved things to get like the next fix of however much you need.
That's a great
point. He had enough money at this point to pay for Biggie's funeral and not even notice it. And he's like, no, I want the high score.
And not even that, Brian, like even if, okay, say it was going to hurt his bottom line, right? Or whatever. I'm sure you could cobble enough donations together to give Biggie the send-off he deserved, right? From like the community, rather than like taking it away from his mother or his kids or whatever. Like, it's gross.
This is also like the height of like Bad Boy's money-making power.
Yeah,
because right after Biggie dies, well, the money, because Mace is a huge deal at this point, and like Mo Money Mo Problems is a huge hit, and like all this money is coming in from Biggie dying. You'll be fine to cover this.
Yeah. So then Sean releases "I'll Be Missing You" about Biggie, and he performs at the MTV Music Awards with Sting. Forgot about that.
Oh, I'll never forget. And another moment from my childhood.
Hashtag never forget. And the record blows up, and that's kind of like, again, you see a pattern of this man being rewarded and rewarded and rewarded, and somehow everybody else in his life is either dead or broke, or you know what I mean? And like even Kirk, who started Bad Boy Records with him, had bouts of homelessness.
Yeah.
And like had nowhere to live.
Penniless.
This guy's and somehow Sean Combs always comes out on top.
Well,
and that is by design.
I'll tell you a little insight, a little moment that I remember from that time that I'm like, this shows this man's character. If you watch the video for "I'll Be Missing You," there's a very important part where he crashes his motorcycle and like falls off of it and tumbles on the desert floor or whatever. And my brother, who was 3 years older than me, was like, that's bullshit. And I was like, he fell, he got hurt. He's like, no, watch closely. You see him like hit the clutch on the motorcycle first to make himself fall. And he's like, that's bullshit. What a phony baloney piece of shit. He knew it was going to happen. And I'm like, Chris, his friend died.
So I know this song very well because it did transcend hip hop. It was all over the radio and stuff. But I don't think I ever saw the video. Are you telling me that in a video that is supposed to memorialize Biggie, Sean Combs is in it a lot?
It's his video. He's like the only person in it.
Shocker. Okay.
I'm trying to think.
That tells you everything you need to know.
I think it's him, and then Faith Evans sings the chorus, and there's like a little vignette of her face in the corner, I think, when she's singing, but it's basically just him and like a lot of doves, and he's in the desert in like a white suit, dancing around.
Okay.
Shoulder shimmying.
All right. Yeah. So episodes 3 and 4, we can kind of breeze through those because even though the stuff is very important, they didn't get down in the weeds about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is like the sexual assault stuff.
It basically centers on the women, and I could have used a whole documentary just on the women. I'll be honest.
It's either the Hulu one or the Investigation Discovery one is basically just them. It's really akin to the R. Kelly documentary, where it's mostly just them sitting down telling their stories. There's a lot of it in the Peacock one, but it's only an hour and a half long, like feature. It's not like a miniseries.
Okay. Because I just felt like, I was talking to Timmy about it. I'm like, I don't feel like I know enough about the freak offs. Like, I know what they are, but why were they so insidious? Like, what was going on? Like, they didn't draw a clear line between criminal behavior and what was happening. Do you know what I mean?
And I'm wondering if a lot of that is because this one was released after the verdict came out.
Maybe.
And it's like, well, if he was acquitted of all of this stuff, we don't want to run a foul and talk about it. Essentially, what was going on, he was having like multiple day-long orgies. A lot of it was him bringing in sex workers from like around the country to do the things he wanted them to do. A lot of it was under heavy drug use. And then there were a lot of cases people wanted to leave and were not allowed to leave. And was like, they
don't talk about that part
at all.
And they should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who were like, I was okay coming to a party. It was cool. I was having a fun time. There's a moment where he's like, all right, we're changing the vibe. And all of a sudden, all the lights go off and all the lights that come on are bright red lights. And now it's just a red light party that goes on for 4 or 5 days. And like after an hour or two of an orgy, I was ready to leave. And security blocked the door and wouldn't let me. And there were women who were, unconscious for a long stretch of it. And things were still going on. There's a lot of that stuff was happening at these parties, allegedly, according to those who say that this is what was happening there.
Wow. I wanted more on that.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying with the verdict.
Yeah.
That you're
like,
right. That's probably important. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do talk about this club shooting with J-Lo. I do remember when he was dating J-Lo and all of this going on. And
what a time, huh?
Yeah. And he kind of skirted around that, didn't get in trouble for any of that either.
Yeah,
like
he shot a guy.
Yeah. Again, a lot of like just getting away with it. It drives me crazy. Like people could have intervened at any point. He
shot a guy, and then he had Shine, who was like an up and coming artist who sounds identical to Biggie. If you listen to Shine, they have the exact same voice.
Oh, okay.
And he hadn't take the fall for it, and he was in jail for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And Diddy never came to visit him. There was no like record deal waiting when he got out. It was just you had one song and you're gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so 8 months earlier, I guess, Nas did a Hate Me Now video featuring Sean.
That was a very, very famous video too.
Which had him up on a cross being crucified.
Sure did.
Okay. So Mark Curie tells us that he came into the studio one day. There's a prominent preacher there. And this preacher's like, dude, you can't. What do you do? This is like the John Lennon, we're more famous than Jesus Christ statement. Like, stop. Have we not learned anything? And so they try to take the video down, but Stephen Stout refused. And so they go there and they rough him up a little bit with the champagne bottle, a telephone, and a chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit somebody with a telephone is wild.
They charge him with assault, but Stout won't talk. So they settled this privately.
Yep.
And I wrote, oh my God, Johnny Cochran is defending him in this club shooting.
Of course. Obviously.
Meanwhile, Shine's lawyers are provided to him by Bad Boy Records, and they're essentially having him take the fall, like you said.
They're stooges, yeah.
And he says, and this is really interesting for any lawyers out there listening, what I'm about to say is a big no-no. Shine says, I said to the judge, I'm unhappy with my legal representation several times. And they just didn't care. Yeah, they just didn't care.
Crazy.
So the artists on his label start peeling away. J-Lo jumps ship. She's like, I got to go save Ben Affleck from himself over there. And he gets Making the Band. I forgot about this.
One of my wife's favorite shows.
Yeah, I watched it, but I forgot about it.
It's I watched the first season and the second season. I didn't watch the Day 26 season. I was not interested in that. But I watched the original The Band, and then I watched the Danity Kane seasons.
So I remember very distinctly the clips going around about the cheesecake.
That was a famous, and Chappelle has a parody of that too. Yeah.
That was
There's a Chappelle show parody where he makes them go to Coney Island to get breast milk from a Cambodian. It has to be 100% pure Cambodian breast milk.
Wow.
So it's the same kind of a feeling. But yeah, walking 8 hours. There was also a part of that they didn't mention. He woke them up at 3 a.m. to make them do that. So he like barged into their room with like air horns. And then first he tried to make them all rap the first verse of Juicy by Notorious B.I.G., which is dark now that I know you murdered him. But they couldn't do it because they were like groggy. And then that's when he got mad and made them get him cheesecake. So this was just like straight up abuse for abuse's sake.
Yeah, it was. I wonder, was it out the same time as The Apprentice? It feels Apprentice adjacent.
Yep. This would have been like mid-aughts.
Yeah. That was a weird time in reality TV.
It was a gross time.
Yeah.
The Swan was a thing.
Yeah, and so was wasn't Rock of Love a thing?
Rock of Love was a thing.
Yeah.
One of those ladies worked at the Bar Louie in Naperville when I was living there, and you had to pay extra to get in if she was working that night.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So Danity Kane, Aubrey O'Day is the person we focus on, and she got it worse than anyone. She says he was separating me from the group by telling me I was the looker and he was grooming me. She reads sexually explicit emails, and I mean, this is not the worst of it, but the spelling and the grammar it looks like, and the reason I pointed out is it's not like small nuances, where you're using the wrong form of there. It's like somebody is on like a Coke fueled binge.
Yeah, it's like you wrote this with a giant purple crayon.
Yeah.
And you compare that to Kirk, who has such beautiful penmanship.
Oh my God.
It's like, what are we doing? The wrong man won.
Yeah. And at one point he signs off by saying, well, I'm going to go finish watching porn and masturbating. So I'll see you later. Okay.
Well, hold on, because the final dismount was that from that is peace and love. God is good. God is the greatest. Diddy.
And then God bless
like,
Diddy.
What?
Yeah.
God bless Diddy. Like, oh no.
So 6 months later, she's fired, and he's all over Instagram calling her promiscuous. Like, it's gross. It's awful.
And that was her on the show.
Yeah.
On the show, they very much portrayed it as like, Aubrey will fuck anybody at any point in time if you don't watch her. So like, we have to keep an eye on her because otherwise she'll be blowing somebody. That was how they talked about her, essentially. It was awful.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that in the early aughts. The early aughts are going to be studied. I'm telling you.
Watch the first couple seasons of Vanderpump and how often they yell whore at somebody. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Sheena, like, get it together.
So Cassie Venture comes along now. She's 19 in 2006. She was the girlfriend of Ryan Leslie, who was acting as her producer. Of course, Sean hears her single in the club. He wants to work with them. He squeezes Ryan out. That's only a matter of time.
Yep.
He's just exploding with wealth at this point, and Cassie, she's enamored by that, and that's okay to admit. You know what I mean? Like,
when he's the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers at this point too. If you're a musician, you want to be close to him.
So he has a wife at this point, essentially, Kim, and they have kids together. But Kim's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
When Cassie came in, she left.
Yeah.
Kim had twins. I guess he has twins, and
yes.
So she ended the relationship, and Cassie's new single is called Official Girl.
Because she's the official girl.
Yep. Yeah. And he starts getting really controlling over her. He kept telling her, you have to be at my beck and call and do that. And I'll put your next album out. And he kept dangling the carrot. Very Harvey Weinstein, dangling the carrot.
And to have her on a 10 album deal is insane.
10 album.
Like, that's nuts. That's essentially why like Prince changed his name and shit to get away from Sony and his like 7 album deal. Like 10 album deal is nuts.
Wow. So we do meet a sex worker in this episode, Clayton Howard. And
this guy's great.
Yeah, he's great. He's like, I had a friend who thought I would make a good gigolo. So he signed me up on a website. I'm like, okay. And he says Cassie called him up one night. He goes down there. She's beautiful. She tells him, you're here to please me for my husband. So, whatever. If this is what they're into, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not here to yuck your yum.
Right. But then it takes a turn. Right. And
right away.
The reason that Clayton, because at first I was like, why is this narrative important? Because he doesn't really give us a lot that seems insidious. But one thing it does is he establishes how much control Sean had over her.
He does. And he also says at one point this went on for like 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
So we also now have like a breadth of time that this covers.
Yeah.
Where we understand this is not like, oh, for a while we were into some kinky shit. It's like, oh no, every year for 8 or 9 years, they would call you on the same date. Even like all of this is a lot.
Yep. And there was a lot of baby oil, Brian. A lot of baby oil.
Way too much.
Why is everyone oiled up?
I don't know, man. I worry about your sheets. Because like your bed, how do you lay back in it? And this is going on for days.
Yeah.
And it doesn't smell great. The humidity in that room is going to be high. It's just, there's a lot of problems I have with it.
Every March 9th, the anniversary of Biggie's death, he throws a big party.
Yeah, it's Biggie Day. There's a big party for it. I mean, his birthday might be a better idea than, the day that he died, but.
This also gives us some insight into their drug use, right?
Yeah.
Because, Clayton's like, this would go on for 2, 3, 4 days. And, I asked them, like, how are you up for this long? And they told him they were on ecstasy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, got him on ecstasy as well, which, like, yeah, if you're going to be fucking for 4 days in a row, I guess you kind of have to be. And I have heard many, many times people talk about like the pink cocaine, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Is it even cocaine, or is this like a pink powder? But there are drugs that they talk about, and I'm like, I know what ketamine is, but
yes. And I love at one point somebody says, Sean is 50 years old.
Yeah.
Why are you doing ketamine with kids?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I could never.
And he's up for one point. Kalina says he's up for like 14 days straight, and he says it's cocaine.
14-day cycle. Yeah, it has to be
cocaine.
I mean,
shit.
I'm shocked it's not meth, because that feels like meth energy to me.
Too. Yeah,
and they show the footage of him in the throes of these kind of binges, and he is just completely out of control, like off his gourd, cannot relax.
Kirk says there was an incident before all of this where Sean injured his wrist in a fight with Kim. It's unclear how it occurred. And he says he was introduced to Percocet, which was also around this time, right? We were just handing out these drugs. So I wonder, and Kirk seems to imply that was the beginning of this.
That got him going, because before that, he wasn't a drinker. He didn't smoke weed. He was a pretty clean guy before that. And then, again, tale as old as time.
In this episode, at the end, we see the Intercontinental footage. Wow.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's real hard to watch. It's
broad daylight.
I mean, I think you should be going to jail for 10 to 15 years just for that video. Like, I don't understand. I'm
assuming it's statute of limitations. I'm assuming it's like we literally are not allowed to charge you with assault, so we can't. Like, he's on tape doing it.
He was also on Watch What Happens Live.
Sure was.
And Andy's all boned up over his sexy video with Cat. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that clip, the clip of him on Ellen, where he's talking weird sex stuff to Ellen, who has her own set of problems. Like, it's just, all of this is kind of gross.
So basically, November 16, 2023, Cassie sues him, saying she was raped and physically abused throughout their 10-year relationship. So do we know what precipitated that? Like the impetus for her lawsuit? What is that?
Yes.
Was it the intercontinental nonsense?
No. So she came to him, and like months before that tape came out, and was essentially like, look, man, you fucked over my entire life. You destroyed my career. I could have been something I wasn't. At this point, she is married. I want to say she has like 1 or 2 kids now. So she's beyond that part of her life. But she's essentially like, I'm going to tell every fucking body what you did unless you make these payments to me in perpetuity. And so they had an agreement. They had like a legal settlement. It was all written down. And then he like missed several payments in a row. And she was like, I'm giving you one last chance to like settle up right now, or I'm telling everybody. And he didn't respond. And so then she's like, all right, you did it to yourself. So he very much, again, more money than God, and just didn't pay somebody. And so this is what happens.
So Joy Dickerson Neal at this point says, she felt a lot of comfort in learning like she wasn't the only one. And this is where all the lawsuits begin. So Cassie really opened the door on it. Yeah. The feds raid his home because they're investigating him for trafficking. There's more than 100 civil cases against him. 77 remain. So episode 4, we meet Capricorn Clark. She is his assistant in 2004. And Sean found out that she was friends with the mother of Suge's child and like takes her to Central Park and is like, this is where I will murder you.
Yeah.
If anything goes on.
I think that's like her first day of work or whatever too. It's early on in her career.
Yeah. He gets the BET Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah. And he is high as fuck on that stage. That dude cannot sit still. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's jumping up and down.
Yeah. Screaming and jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Full Elon Musk behavior.
And Tom Cruise on the couch.
Right.
Lil Rod enters the dock here. He's the producer on Love Off the Grid, Sean's last album. Is that what it's called? Love Off the Grid? No.
I've heard both. I think, no, Love Off the Grid is that show that was on TLC.
Yeah, I'm like, did I just write the name of a reality show? It's called Love, right?
It's just the Love album. Yeah, Love or the Love album. I've heard it both ways.
I don't know why I wrote that. So he witnesses Sean and Justin shoot someone.
Yeah.
And I wrote,
apparently.
is this his son, Justin?
Yep. And again, I think that's the one. It's for sure his oldest son. I think that's the one that he moved to LA when he went to college. I'm pretty sure that's the same kid.
So basically, like, there's just this drug fueled time where they're doing this love album, and Sean is heard saying he's on a love rampage, and there's a lot of drugs. Lil Rod can't get paid. He has to like sue him. Yep. And Lil Rod says, like, I was drugged and things happened to me. Like, I would wake up in bed and there'd be a woman that I have no memory of going to bed with. And sometimes Sean would be on the other side of her.
Yep.
So there's that.
I mean, it was just part of what he was doing. And again, Lil Rod explains, he's like, I could have left, but also I know that if I finish this album, what a big deal this is going to be for my career.
Yeah.
And I've already done all the work, so I might as well just like see it through at this point.
I really just cannot. We'll get to this with the jurors who I've no use for. This narrative of you can just leave. I mean, clearly these people have never been in a power imbalanced relationship in their lives, right?
No,
because Little Rod,
this job.
I mean, Puff Daddy is like the biggest name in record production, music production. Yeah. He's going to finish the album.
It's going to get finished, and it's his first album in 13 years, so it's going to be a big deal when it comes out. Yeah. Like, and frankly, I work for myself now. I've had jobs before. I couldn't just leave my job on a whim if I was upset about something. Like, you can't just leave all the time.
Yeah. So we get this really hard scene with Aubrey O'Day where she reads this affidavit. So one of the lawsuits alleged that they saw her being sexually assaulted by two people. Sean is one of them. The other person, we don't know who it is, maybe security or something.
Just some guy.
Some guy. And she looked inebriated. Like she looked, she was not, and she has no memory of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basically catatonic at this point.
It's really interesting because she's in this weird position of like, I don't want to discredit women. So I can't come forward and say like, I don't think this happened. Cause then that,
because then now I'm the star witness saying doubt all these women.
Yeah. So it's really hard.
She's a sad figure in general.
It was really hard. And I totally understood what she was saying and why she felt that way. And it was just hard to watch. So he's arrested. They find a bunch of drugs, bunch of cash, tons of baby oil and lube.
Tons. Thousands of bottles of it.
So he begins to manipulate the jury in the following ways. He has a handful of content creators that are allowed in the courtroom. I think there's 14 seats.
Yeah.
Sean made sure to befriend many of these to the point where they were actually, his team was feeding these content creators bullet points from the day that they wanted them to then go back and regurgitate for their audience. And
they did it.
Controlled the narrative.
Yeah. Well, and the juror was like, I don't know we didn't feel that way at all. But the content creators like, oh, the jurors are really moved by this point. And I'm just like, this is gross. Yeah. And again, Tisa Tells is like 5 feet away screaming about like what a nonsense like behavior this was by Diddy in the courtroom and how he obviously did it. So it's wild to me that I never consumed any of that content. I got all the other content of people being like, no, this dude is guilty as sin.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is wild that they really went all out trying to like influence public opinion on that.
Yeah, and the jury was not sequestered.
No, it's crazy.
Which was
How are you not sequestered?
That's a problem.
How are you not? Yeah. That's insane.
So he's contacting witnesses. He's trying to get, like, how is he not arrested for this? Like, how is this not an additional charge?
There was a guy in the Peacock documentary. There's a guy who was around when all this is going on. I don't know if he was like one of his writers or producers or whatever, but was like a frequent participant in the freak-offs. And he said that in one day he had like 75 phone calls from Diddy trying to get him to like take his story back and come out and make a statement. And it was just like obsessive calling all these witnesses all the time.
I just don't understand how he's not held like
Well, Amye, he's very rich. So, you know, I think what we're forgetting is he's a very rich person.
Well, and something else we see that's so gross is he's on the phone with somebody and he's going, I need you to find all the clips of Cassie saying something positive about me, of, you know, Kalina saying something positive, Dawn saying something positive. Like he was manipulating the story. This is what he does.
Yeah,
he knows how to create sort of an illusion of things. This is what he does.
Thing when he was walking around Harlem and trying to act like he was king of the city. Then he got in the car and was basically like, all these street urchins touched me. I need to boil my skin.
Yeah.
Like I need to wash.
Like, ew, I touched people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, and you compare that to that one picture in the very beginning where he's in the middle. It's a black and white photo. He's in the middle. Everyone is surrounding him, like reaching toward him, and he's looking at the camera. And I'm like, that is an amazing photo. You compare that to him now being like, oh my God, the pores got too close. Like, what a change in this man.
I agree. Kalina Harper, I remember her being in the news during this trial because she was defending him. So she talks now about there's a custody battle going on in her life.
She feels so guilty. Yeah.
And she needed his help. And ironically, he had refused her help. But then when he needed her, he waved that over her.
I'll come around.
Yep. And so she's like, you know, I feel so bad about this. This is why I defended him. And yeah, she's real upset about it.
She's sad, and I get it, but you did a bad thing and you should feel bad about it.
Yeah, you did. Capricorn gives a lot of information when they speak to her, including a time when he kidnapped her and almost forced her to kill Kid Cudi. Yeah. Because Cassie was sleeping with Kid Cudi.
I mean, some of the players in this, the fact that Kid Cudi is involved, Albie Shore, like these are not hard people.
Well, and the whole thing is like, they don't find him guilty of kidnapping at all. And she's like, I was kidnapped. What else do you call it when he forces me into a car with a gun and says, we're going to kill this person?
And the juror's like, oh no, did he? That sounds pretty far-fetched. He's pretty famous.
Yeah. Did he?
And the other part of this that didn't get discussed in this documentary because it got acquitted or whatever, they blew up Kid Cudi's car. They tried to find him. He wasn't home. Wow. So they put some kind of explosives in his Porsche, which was like parked in front of the house, and blew his car up instead. So that was part of the investigation, but they wound up not charging it because they said they couldn't like prove that Diddy was the guy that put the bomb there that night or whatever. But they blew his car up.
Okay. The trial is 7 weeks long. I remember my mother was so into this trial, and she kept saying to me, and if I'm the whitest person in this whole story and episode, my mother's the second. And she was like, Amy, he's going to get away with it. He's going to get like, she just saw it coming. She's like, he's going to get away with this, which for all intents and purposes, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. All the worst stuff he didn't get in trouble for.
So the trial's 7 weeks long. The jury deliberated for 3 days. He's found not guilty of racketeering, sex trafficking, not guilty. He was found guilty, as we said in the beginning, to transportation to engage in prostitution. He had a dream team of 8 lawyers. Yeah. By the way, I saw something came across on the Tick and the Talk the other day about, did he fuck over one of his lawyers?
Probably.
Did you see this?
Probably. I think if I'm guessing, I'm hoping it's Mark Garagos.
It is. No, it's not Mark. Wait. Mark Garagos.
I think he was part of the team too. I'm pretty sure he's part of the team.
You know my feelings about Mark Garagos.
I'm aware.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he's part of the team too.
Wow. It was the lead lawyer. I forget. It's Mark something, but it's not Garagos. But I forget. Maybe we can Google on air and figure this
Probably
out.
Can. I don't see why
Sean
not.
Combs legal team members.
And if Garagos isn't on there, he fits the bill, right?
He does.
He looks like he would be.
Agfino or something like that.
Oh, Agnifilo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
His I don't
too, I think.
I don't see Garagos. I'm shocked.
Oh.
But
I think Agnifilo's wife is also somebody. I want to say they are Trump affiliated. I think they worked on his legal team on one of his trials.
Okay.
Probably the E. Jean Carroll case.
So here it is. The headline, and this is from Hot New Hip Hop.
There you go.
The headline is Harvey Levin slams Diddy for allegedly betraying his lawyer with a secret video. So what I think it is I think it's that footage in the documentary.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What? Just a pack of scoundrels. All these names.
Okay. His wife, Karen, is Luigi Mangione's attorney.
Oh no, I love her then. Never mind.
Yeah.
I slandered the wrong people.
Yes,
well,
yes, you are.
Because he didn't do it, because he and I were together watching season 2 of Teen Mom that day. So
by the way, this Mark also defended Keith Raniere.
Oh.
Wow.
They need to get a divorce.
Wow.
It's like, what are you doing?
And if you remember Pharma Bro, he defended Pharma Bro.
Oh, Martin Shkreli.
That's a complicated Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Wow. Okay. So juror 160 and juror 75 are interviewed, but I didn't feel like we got a lot from them, but it did give us some insight into like
a little bit of color.
Yeah. So juror 160 is a young woman who says, I grew up on his music. And so
she's one of my peers.
Yeah, that's a problem. There's lots of slut shaming of Cassie in this section.
Lot.
Juror 160, the woman, says she wasn't on social media, but other jurors absolutely were.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't believe you were not on social media.
No, of course you were. You're my age. Of course you were.
Juror 75, who's like this little old man, is like, they were in love, and love is sometimes complicated.
It was a modern day love story. What are you talking about?
So the Intercontinental video, juror 160 says, yeah, that was bad. But domestic violence wasn't part of the charges.
And it's wild watching them almost parrot the defense exactly, where it's like, it's not illegal to be a bad person.
Yeah,
you can be a horrible person. I'm like, y'all are saying what they want you to say.
And juror 160, this young woman, she's like, we saw texts of her coming back to him. Like it was, no, don't you know anything about the psyche of abuse?
Right. Was not like an abuse psychologist that can come and talk and be an expert witness to explain this.
I know. So you can tell that this young woman, this juror, is totally enamored with him because she's talking about how their expressions matched. And when Capricorn was telling this kidnapping story, we were just both like, I'm like, oh man, they need to throw this woman off the jury.
Yes, come on.
Kirk says they're getting a high level view, but this has been building for decades. The basketball, the Steven Stout attack, the Tupac shit, the Biggie shit, the gun possession at the club. Like he's getting away with stuff his whole life, and it's escalating and escalating.
It's not done.
No.
Like when he gets out, he's got to do awful things again.
And he's probably going to retaliate.
For sure.
Yeah.
If I'm Cassie, I'm terrified.
Yeah. Tim says Kirk was the foundation of Bad Boy and he suffered greatly.
Yeah.
Kirk says he was abusive to me in sexually deviant ways. And he did launch a lawsuit to get paid his 25%, but it was dismissed. They couldn't.
Dismissed.
Yeah. They said something like they couldn't figure out who really owned what, because at one point, Sean threatened him to sign over his 25% because he needed to make a payment. Yeah.
And my thing was, when I heard that story, I'm like, hey, Sean, your mom has 75%. Take 25% from her. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Go get her 25%.
So that's where the documentary ends. I realize this is a long episode, but this was a lot to get through.
There was a lot to discuss because I think going into it, you kind of expect it to mostly be freak offs and baby oil. And then it's like, oh, no, we're starting with him with 4 years old with rings on and shit. Yeah. We're going deep.
So on Murder, She Watched, one of the things we do at the end is we have to solve this. Okay. So we know he's guilty of all the,
Did it.
We know he's guilty of all the sexual abuse, all the disgusting behavior towards women. What I want to focus on is he guilty of the Tupac hit? And is he guilty of, is he complicit in some way, in your opinion, will say in the Biggie?
100% he is responsible for the first Tupac shooting. The shooting at the recording studio, nobody knew he was there but Diddy. He for sure did that one. The Biggie shooting, he's 100% responsible for. You got him there. You had mysterious drivers.
You may not have pulled the trigger, but you ushered him to it.
Yeah, you put him where he was. You might have pulled the trigger. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
The Tupac shooting in Las Vegas, I'm less certain. Because also these are also just like organized crime figures you guys are punching, kicking, and stomping on. Yeah. So I think that were it not for Diddy, those guys might not have crossed paths with Tupac. Yeah. But I don't know that he ordered that hit in that moment. I think he for sure tried to before though. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in agreement. pretty much with we're aligned on this. He's a terrible man who, when he gets out of prison, which he will probably get a presidential pardon or get out early, he needs to be, and I don't call it cancel culture, I think of it as consequence culture. He needs to be consequenced out of the mainstream.
I just call it boycotting. Just boycott whatever he does for the rest of his life. Sure. My biggest concern is those kids are going to have billions of dollars though. And like whatever Justin wants to do with that money is going to be dark.
So it's, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, where is Justin now?
He's still in LA, I think. I don't know what he does because he quit. So he played football. Is
he in music? Does he have a music career or no?
I don't know. He played football at UCLA and then he like dropped out of college and quit the team after a year or two. And I think he was just like working for his dad. So I think he was just in line to inherit the kingdom, essentially.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this has been a journey.
We've been around the world and back again. Yeah.
You were the perfect person for this because
well, thank you.
I was just stumbling through the weeds on this one. Like, wait, who's what's going on? Who's this?
There was so much I didn't even talk about. There were so many other things that I'm just like, I'll leave it for later on.
So yeah, because you told me over chat that there were other murders.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that he murdered Kim Porter. The bullet point there is she was totally dead? Yeah, she died. Yeah, she was totally healthy and making plans to like see her sister and something like that. I think he was coming over to either pick up or drop off one of their kids. And then when somebody came to the house later on, they found her dead of like cardiac arrest. It was either cardiac arrest or she had like sudden pneumonia or something. It's like, this is not a disease a healthy person. Yeah, not a disease a healthy person gets. Then Albie Shore had a stroke and was in the hospital recovering from his stroke. And there was, I think he said that Diddy like sent somebody into his hospital room to try to like kill him while he was recovering from the stroke or something like that.
Oh, like pillow over the face kind of situation.
So, yeah, that put some shit in your IV, put some air in your vein. But again, Albie Shore, I'm trying to think of the right comp for this. He is the softest man in R&B. This would be like if there was like a murder story and Kenny G was like a key player, or Michael Bolton. It's just like, of all people, Albie Shore.
Wow. Like, okay.
The two things I think about Albie Shore is he's a soft R&B guy.
Okay.
And as a dark-skinned man, he for a long time was like the icon of making fun of a light-skinned black person. You call him Albie Shore or you call him El DeBarge. Like those are our two touchstones. So to see him pop up and be like, yeah, no, they've been coming after me for 30 years. I'm like, Albie Shore? Really? That guy?
Right. Like, aren't there bigger villains in the world? Aren't there bigger dragons to slay?
I mean, you might as well go after Lance Bass. This is not a threatening man. This is just like a soft gentleman.
So Kim Porter, oh my God, she was only 47.
She was young and all accounts in good health and then suddenly died. I was trying to think if there were, I'm trying to think if there's others. Those are the ones that I think of right away, was the attempted Albie Shore and then the Kim Porter. I don't think he was ever implicated in Heavy D's death because I think he just had like a heart attack, which that was the other part that we laugh a little bit. We think of Heavy D and Notorious B.I.G. as being gigantic men. They were just like chubby.
Yeah.
Like Biggie wasn't that fat.
Suge was a big guy.
Suge was enormous.
Yeah,
he was enormous, but like Biggie wasn't that fat.
No,
like, he was chubby, but he wasn't that fat.
Yeah, no.
He was built like CeeLo Green. Like he wasn't that fat.
Are you aware of Sean Combs and Kim's children's names?
I used to know them. If you tell them, I'll remember them.
Well, we got Delilah. Okay, fine.
There you go. That's fine.
King Combs.
There you go.
And Jesse James Combs.
Jesse James Combs.
Okay.
Well, at least it's not, Pilot Inspector, and we've seen worse.
Yes,
but it's not great.
Yeah, what are Elon Musk's kids' names?
I can't pronounce them. I'm not even sure how you say that one thing.
It's a symbol. Yeah, we don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's poor kid. Kindergarten's gonna be rough.
So I think that the verdict here is this guy needs to go away.
Yeah, he did it, and I hope
he's
we never
not
see him
welcome
again.
back. He's not welcome back. No,
there is no redemption arc for him.
And if you want further viewing that you should watch, you said there's the best one is Peacock. Is that what you said?
The Peacock one is the most condensed. It's an hour and a half. So you get in and out. It covers kind of all the main points, but you get a lot of testimony of people that like survived things with him. And then the one that was on Hulu, I think, is the one that's the most like sensationalized, kind of going for shock value. A lot of content creator interviews in those.
Okay. So one of the things I kind of heard on the interwebs around this doc is, listen, this was great of 50 Cent to do, but let's not all rally to 50 Cent is the greatest human being on earth.
Let's do one on him next.
Like you said.
Because like he also sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because as you pointed out, this is like, you know, just calling out bad behavior all around, but that doesn't make you a good, like, you're not necessarily squeaky clean then.
Once you get that kind of rich, you're going for the high score and you're just trying to like bury Diddy's money. And so, you know, that vitamin water that 50 Cent made, that money he made from vitamin water is still there. Like he is untouchably rich. So, yeah.
And he is all over the place doing interviews that he's making sure that Sean can see.
Yeah, I saw he did an interview with ABC because he made sure that was going to be on in the prison. Because again, he's Petty LaBelle. Like this is what he does.
Yes, that is a level of pettiness that some of us would love to be able to pull off, but can't.
Yeah. Estelle Petty, confirm. I love it. It makes me very happy.
All right, my friend, tell everyone where they can find you, please.
Yeah, so I host MAFS Virgin. If you look at the Google search, AI will tell you that we are two sexless adults discussing Married at First Sight. That's not true. Yeah, the AI said that. It might not say it anymore. When we first launched, I did a search and it said that we were two sexless adults discussing Married at First Sight and the challenges coming with like not being able to have sex in our relationships or whatever.
Okay, wait, now it's something new. Okay.
Oh, what is it?
MAFS Virgin refers to contestants on the reality show Married at First Sight who are virgins. Most notably Matthew Bennett and Iris Caldwell. Okay,
well, Iris was
a virgin.
I don't remember Matthew, but no.
Alongside a popular podcast called MAFS Virgin, hosted by Brian Crooks, that reviews the show through a virgin's perspective.
No. I felt good for a second. I'm like, oh, we're popular? They know my name? No, neither Kim nor I are virgins. I've got a 6-year-old son. He's very adorable. Kim is in a very long-term relationship that I've never seen her have sex, but I'm assuming they're doing it.
Okay.
No, we're MAFS Virgin because I have seen every episode of the show. Kim had never seen a single episode before our first episode that we covered.
Yeah.
So I have introduced her to it. We loved the season on Peacock. It was great fun.
It was great.
We are covering the Houston season now, which is just a disaster. That is Bao and Johnny.
Is that Brett?
Zach and Michaela. Brett and Ryan.
Yeah, Brett and Ryan, right.
Which I feel like Kim is ready to switch teams because she's in love looking at Brett in that dress. Brett and all of her breasts in that wedding dress has won him over.
That was one of the first seasons where we saw political difference.
Sure was.
Yep.
And that was the season after COVID too. So I think people were already a little bit on edge.
Yes, it was between Brett and Ryan. Yep.
It's a great season. So we just started covering that. Episodes 1 and 2 are up.
That's fun.
You can follow us on Instagram and Threads at MAFS Virgin. Join our Facebook group, MAFS Virgin Fan Club. I do memes and jokes in there. And yeah, if you think I'm funny, like this is how I always sound. So like this is the tone you always get. So yeah, come and join our group. It's a lot of fun in there.
Well, thank you for doing this, and I hope that you will come back.
No, I will come back and talk about whatever. I don't do network reality, but any other garbage, I will talk about. I don't do network
reality either.
I can't do it. I can't do it. But Bravo, lesser Bravo, I will talk about. I wish they would have brought back the Family Karma because I loved that show.
I loved that show.
It was great. It was great. Yeah. TLC stuff, I talk about any of it.
Are you into true crime a lot?
I say that I'm not a true crime girly. It turns out I am. I watch a ton of it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have a murder that's like? Do you have a case that's like your?
Well, I've got a couple. I mean, the one that I always point out just to bring everybody's mood way down. It's one that no one ever knows about. It is the people always ask like, what radicalized you? This is the moment that I point to say when I got woke. But it was the 2007 Sean Bell shooting. Okay. This is in New York. Sean Bell, the night before his wedding, went to a bachelor party with his friends at a strip club. They were walking to go to the car to go to another club. An off-duty plainclothes officer thought he heard someone say the word gun. Several officers surrounded the car and they kept shooting until the shooting stopped. They said there was no gun in the car and they were all acquitted. So like that
all acquitted.
All acquitted. That's the one that I kind of point to. I'm like, oh, that hurts. In terms of like one that I'm just kind of obsessed with. It's probably Lacey Peterson, I would say. Is because it's just gross.
And who killed Lacey Peterson?
Scott Peterson.
Yeah, that's the correct answer.
Yeah, the Lacey Peterson murder.
I was going to shut this whole thing down if you said it was an intruder in a van.
No. It was Scott Peterson, probably with like glee in his heart. So that is one. There's also one. I want to say her name was Susan Smith. Her kids in the car.
Van. Yeah. She drove them into the lake.
I was like the age of one of her kids when that happened. I remember like it was just on the TV in the kitchen. My mom was watching the news and I was like traumatized by hearing that at that age.
Yeah. Well, you are welcome on Murder She Watched anytime you want to talk murder and true crime.
I work for myself.
You're also welcome on Little Miss Recap anytime to talk about
that's wonderful.
Anything nonsensical that we do.
I love it. I love it. Anytime with me on, I will come on. I will clear my schedule.
All right. Thank you so much. And everybody, please check out MAFS Virgin. I will put the link in the show notes. And Brian's not a virgin, as we have established here.
No,
okay, we've solved a lot of things, including your virginity.
Yeah, he looks just like my grandmother. It's proof.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to Murder She Watched. To support the show, please consider joining Murder Club, our Patreon. For $10 a month, you get a bonus episode every week, plus all of our episodes ad-free, and it just helps me pay people and keep the pod going. If you'd like to support us without a financial contribution, please consider leaving a 5-star review on Apple or anywhere you listen to podcasts.